I had a couple of English yew logs given to me to turn into bows the other day. Now this is the only decent bit of timber from the smaller log, and it's got a great big knot in the middle. But of course, if that's left as a bulky area at the grip, we should probably be alright. And I'm slowly roughing it down. It's a mistake to go too quickly. But then on one of the forums, there were some people who should have known better blethering on about how English yew isn't suitable for making bows. And I just get so fed up with that, because English yew is perfectly good. The hard bit is trying to find it. Trying to find a long, clean, straight section. It took me about 10 years to find the first bit of yew to turn into a bow. But if you keep looking, if you keep asking, if every time you hear a chainsaw you go and talk to the tree surgeon, eventually some decent yew will turn up. Well, I'll show you this stave, and we'll show you how horrible and bad it is. Now, if we look at it, it looks all, I don't know, all porous and scruffy, and the sapwood's too thick and it's got this blue mould in it. You see what I mean? Can you see it's all very dull and lifeless, isn't it? Looks awful. Now let's just see what happens if we run a plane across it for a couple of minutes. You could hear that was cutting smoothly. I didn't do a particularly good job, just roughing it through quickly. But if you look at it now, you can see that sapwood's lovely and creamy, and I can tell it was cutting creamily. Right, there's a bit of discoloration, but all that porous look has disappeared. It's just where it was cut on a very coarse bladed saw. And it may not turn into a great bow, but it certainly won't if I dismissed it as being no good at all. I've got it roughed out. I've got tons of width there. There's a few areas that might be problematic. I'll have to thin the sapwood in places, leave it bulky at the grip. Let's just have a look how wide it actually is. And remember, this is only roughed out. There you go, for over 40mm wide. Got tons of thickness. And yeah, the sapwood's not that well defined there. That's a bit I've planed down. And it looks very thick this side. But that's what a natural yew stave's like. So, in fact here, that looks like a very nice thin layer of sapwood. I might just run the plane over that. There you go, that looks very pretty. Very nice there. But in this yew, it came from, it was my mate JT. I think he got in touch with a farmer, or a farmer got in touch with him. And he bought these couple of logs for 50 quid or whatever, and they were lying around in his garage, and then he moved house and couldn't take them with him, so he didn't have a workshop, so he flogged them to a mate at the club who kept them in a container for a couple of years, and then he was having a go at making bows but felt this was above his pay grade, so he's passed them on to me. And it's who you know, the circles you move in, the effort you put in, and the rest of it. The more contacts you make, the more people you talk to, and the more decent bows you make. If you can make a decent bow, people will end up bringing you for you to turn into bows. Anyway, this is just a bit of a rant anyway, really. There you go. Some horrible English yew that's totally unsuitable for making bows.